Welcome, YouTubers, to another coin rating and review on the culture of currency. I wanted to remind you that I'm going to be making another purchase of coins in the coming weeks, so make sure you subscribe so you are up to date. Our last video had all of my foreign coins, so make sure you check that out. Today we are going down under to take a look at the Australian Kangaroo. If you are not aware, this is minted at the Perth Mint. Perth is on the western coast of Australia, basically opposite to Sydney. One of my performing friends used to travel to Australia frequently and said that Perth was his favorite. I've not personally been there because everything in Australia can and will kill you. If any of you are familiar with Australia, please let me know in the comments so that I know a little bit about what you experienced. When we think about the Perth Mint, we often think about the classic coins that overshadow the Kangaroo. My guess is when you think of the Perth Mint, the first coin you think of is the kookaburra, followed by the koala, and maybe down the list you get to the kangaroo. I understand that to a degree, but my research indicates that the kangaroo is actually the staple bullion coin from this mint. The koala and most other animals like the emu and the dolphin coin are fairly low mintage. The kookaburra is mid and ranges around 500,000, but the kangaroo is minted by the millions, making it the standard coin of Perth. This is kind of like Austria having the Philharmonic and then issuing a couple of other coins too. Being that it is from Perth, there's also a laser engraved security feature of a very small A that can be seen under the microscope. I found it on the first A of Kangaroo. The A stands for Australia. It is super hard to see. One of the cool items about this coin is that the design does change every handful of years. My Kangaroo is a 2019. Now that we understand the coin a little better, let's jump right into our ranking. On the front of the coin, we have one of the coolest borders I have seen in a silver coin. The rippling reminds me of waves, which should make sense after all, seeing as Australia is basically a giant island. We have the standard wordage, and we have the queen, as tradition would have it. The one note I would say about this queen is that her garments actually have a unique texture, which is a small detail that I think is cool. I think that this kangaroo hosts a queen that is above in quality most of her other hosted coins. I think the front, therefore, earns a 7.0. On the back we have a more tame but same design border with the standard wordage that is appropriate and balanced as well. We also see that this has 4 nines silver, which is great for collectors. The inner circle is broken up in what looks to be a cool representation of the outback sun rays and features what I believe to be a red kangaroo in full motion. The kangaroo itself is well done, but lacks the artistic quality that makes it look alive like the cheetah of Cameroon has. I still think it is high quality enough to land it back at an 8. Mintage is our next category. There are millions minted, which scores a 1, but the good side is, because there's so many, you can pick these up relatively cheap, and I recommend you do so. When it comes to cultural significance, this is a coin where it is fine to have the face of a queen due to the history and significance of Australia and Great Britain's relations. For some reason, the borders and detail feel Australian as well. On the back we have the Great Kangaroo, which as we know is as Australian as Crocodile Dundee or Steve Irwin, so that scores a 10. Collectability is our next area. This coin features a cool design that does change occasionally. It is also fairly cheap and one that stackers tend to like as well as collectors, so it scores a 10. Our last category is uniqueness. I find that there are over 100 coins that have kangaroos on them, like the other ones featured right here. They, however, are not all bullion coins. It is somewhat unique in that light, so I give that a 7, which brings our total score for this Roo to 43 out of 60, which ties with the Wiener Neustadt of Austria and the British Virgin Islands Pegasus. Thank you for watching, and please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.